Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be leading you through the 5-paragraph essay response to the reading. Now settle down. I know 5 paragraphs may seem like a lot, but it's not that complicated when you use the bing, the bang, and the bongo. Let's see how this works. Before we begin, I want to address what an essay is. An essay is a group of paragraphs relating to one main idea, your thesis, your response to the prompt. And you should have already gone through and developed the baseline of this rewording of your prompt for your thesis. What else you're going to be having is the bing, the bang, and the bongo. And it's a method for organizing your thoughts when you write an essay. So here's how the 5-paragraph structure breaks down. The first thing we have is your introduction. It's a short little paragraph prepping the reader. The second paragraph is your first body paragraph, the bing. Your second body paragraph, the bang, your third body paragraph, the bongo, and then you wrap it up with a conclusion paragraph at the very end. So paragraph 1, paragraph 2, 3, 4, and 5. Easier to say, my intro, the bing, the bang, and the bongo. So how should you construct your introduction? You need to make sure that you introduce the title of the article or selection, and make sure to give the author's name with a quick summary as well. And then you're going to go and have your thesis statement where you introduce your bing, your bang, and your bongo as the very last sentence of your introduction. So you already have your thesis created. The main character fills, and then you have your 3 blanks there. After you've gone through from your graphic organizer, you will simply pull in your 3 reasons that you found to support that, or the 3 ideas, and fill them in the blanks. And you've established your bing, your bang, and your bongo. So the main character feels disappointment, responsibility, and guilt towards his little brother. So let's look at a few examples of how I can go through and begin this essay. Here's my first example. The Scarlet Ibis by James Hurst tells the sad story of 2 brothers, the narrator and Doodle. Throughout the story, the narrator struggles to cope with his little brother's disabilities. So I make sure to go through and give the selection title, the author, and then here's a quick summary of the main ideas. Or I can organize my intro like this. I can start with, in the story, The Scarlet Ibis, James Hurst shows the complicated relationship of the story's narrator and his little brother Doodle. So again, here's the title, author, and a summary of the story. So now what do? Well, I'm going to go through and pull it together. I'm going to start off with my article title, the author, my summary, and then I'll pull in my thesis to be the very last sentence of my introduction. And boom, my introduction's done. So where to go after the introduction? Well, what you're going to be doing is now developing your body paragraphs. You're going to have your bing, the bang, and the bongo. Or, more importantly, you're going to be talking about disappointment, responsibility, and guilt. Each one of those main points you set up will be its own body paragraph, which you'll be learning about later on how to structure those. But a full paragraph on disappointment, a full paragraph on responsibility, and a full body paragraph on guilt. So once I go through and develop those and find my textual evidence, we're going to be ready to wrap this bad boy up. So what does a conclusion look like for an essay like this? The very first sentence of your conclusion will be rewording the thesis statement. And the last thing you're going to do is summarize the bing, the bang, and the bongo. So let's look at the first part of our conclusion, rewording the thesis. One of the things that's important for you to remember is the keyword rewording. You don't want to say the exact same thing. You're not just repeating yourself. So let's look at our thesis and try to find the heart of what we're saying. The narrator feels disappointment, responsibility, and guilt towards his little brother. Okay, you don't want to include your 3 reasons when you reword your thesis because you're going to be summarizing that later on. So you need to figure out, what am I proving here, and find new words to say the same thing. So let's reword it. Here's my rewording. Throughout the story, the older brother experiences a variety of emotions concerning Doodle. It's the heart of my thesis. Now I'm going to go on and summarize the main points. So looking back at my thesis again, my main points were disappointment, responsibility, and guilt. So how can I go through and summarize those simply? Here is my rewording of the thesis. And so you add on to that. Even though he is let down, the narrator feels obligated to take care of the little brother. This ends up leaving the narrator feeling guilty when Doodle dies. It's a sad and depressing story. So notice that I didn't use the exact same words. I didn't use disappointment, responsibility, or guilt again. Instead, I found different words to mean almost the same thing. Now I know guilty and guilt are really close to each other, but I changed it up enough that it does not feel like I'm simply copying and pasting. So notice rewording the thesis, summarizing my main points, and then I even wrap it up with some little sentence here, which you don't have to do, but it does help the reader feel like you've ended your essay. So overall, your 5-paragraph essay structure, we have your introduction, your bang, your bongo, and a conclusion. I hope this will help you develop your essay response.